Eric A Manus and the Dream of the Cities in the Sky. Brought to you by electricsoupforthesoul.com. Be sure to visit us at electricsoupforthesoul.com. The Certain City. So Manus rose, led by his backside, until he came to these vine-clad buildings that featured gargoyles and towers. Tree-lined brick lanes formed pretty paths, where busy folks, all dressed in long robes, walked, lost deep in thoughts, bearded folks who seemed wise. So this made Manus think if such smart people heard his case, they'd know the cure. Excited, Manus cried out, "Help!" until his pleadings drew a crowd. He heard some murmurs, and at last these words, "Why disturb us? Why do you shout?" "I'm sorry, sirs, but as you can see, I'm in distress. I've come floating here from far below. Through the clouds and snow and rain I've risen. I am hoping—" That was as far as he got, for then this throng of earthbound, bearded men hurled angry reply up towards the sky. They weren't Manus' friends, no help would lend. There is only the here and the now, no greater forces to which we bow. There's no mystery left in history. Nothing's out there worth exclaiming, "Wow!" There is no tomorrow, no past. We are the first and also last. Our science has solved riddles once and all. We plot precise graphs from each fact. We know already what you are, floating there where only belong stars. Our charts tell compelling numerical truths. You are false, fake, a blunder of our senses, an anomaly, a misprint, an error. We're seeing things. Then they summoned catapults that flung shots at Manus while he kept twisting his tuchus to steer his swollen body left and right, dodging molten tars and balls and chains that whistled his way. All the while he puffed and kept hoping to expel enough air to lighten his load, and so escape the torrent of metal and rock that rocketed hot, lobbed by the robed beings. At length enough air had escaped his lungs to propel Manus up, like a punctured balloon that twists upward erratically. But like that balloon, once the air had left, Manus limply fell back towards his enemy's veil of projectiles. Now he panicked, gasped, wound up sucking in too much air, and swelled. Manus rose in the sky once more. Like a hot air balloon, he soared. Then he heard a change. A new voice held sway. "Take another look at this report. We forgot to carry the one. See, look at what this shows. This number changes it all. This odd human balloon clearly means we are all undone. None of us exist. We are all myth. It's true. Yes, our lives are pointless," cried a voice that rose up where Manus floated. More joined in. "Our charts have spoken. Since we are never wrong, we must be right in stating our case because we can't make mistakes. Our perfect equations cannot prove to have been a bust. Thus, as we know we are never wrong, we must therefore be right all along. If reality nixes theories of ours, then real is just the put on." The men below now unleashed a hail of shots in all directions. Wailing voices cried out in pain. Writhing bodies taken out by shells unleashed in an orgy of annihilation. The learned men of science wiped themselves out of existence. Doubtless, certain that they were truly right. Manus dodged and weaved through the spray of projectiles, panicked, heaved, swayed, gulped in too much air, swelled up like a parakeet trying to impress his mate. Now fat as a pregnant bear, his clothes hugged his oversized body so tight that the blood stopped flowing in his neck. Off turned Manus' brain. He fainted cold. When Eric woke, he found that he had risen to the edge of a sky island city that was more strange than that before. This time Manus hatched a foolproof plan for how to proceed. You see, Eric had fished out the leather-bound scripture book the old man had given him and read the verse, "Be passerbys." It occurred to him that this was good advice. He thought it best if he should disguise himself somehow and observe unnoticed in this next city. He took pains to steer towards flocks of birds which veered by in the sky, then gathered feathers of all shapes and color. He made the quill ends poke through the clothes he wore. With actions too complex to describe, Manus cleverly snuck up right next to flocks of starlings, cranes, ducks, grouse, large dodos, doves, and bobolinks in flight. Then he screamed, and when they scattered, he deftly grabbed for any clutter that frightened flight set loose, reaching to catch all feathers that towards him fluttered. I'm just a giant bird. Eric smiled at the thought of the disguise he'd styled. Then he steered his rumpus towards the lump of dirt and iron, the next sky isle.